We are at the end of the 2024 regular season. Things went about as well as, well, you would expect them to go after the trade deadline we had. Finished best in the league with 113 wins, 49 losses, a nice 69.8 winning percentage, 698. And the Blue Jays, the only other team to win 100 games. Fascinating season for them because I highlighted them, remember, in the season predictions. Preseason predictions here. Blue Jays were predicted to go 76 and 86 and have a negative. Jeez, I'm too tired to be doing math in my head. What, a negative 27 run differential, right? So they ended up with a plus 76, but their win-loss record was plus 16 in their Pythagorean of 88 and 74. So they were much better than the predictions predicted, but they also just overachieved. 40 and 15 in one-run games. I mean, the Phillies were 31 and 21. No other team came close to winning 40 one-run games. And I mean, 40 out of 55 is just kind of bonkers, if you ask me. And so, I don't know why this isn't going up. Let's see. Oh, my mouse was having difficulties. It was not the game. And so what's interesting is, there's really no reason you can really see why they're that good other than just luck. Like, it wasn't like their bullpen was a shutdown bullpen. Their bullpen was mediocre, below average. I mean, they had a good offense. That's why they won a lot of games. Their pitching sucked, though. Their fielding sucked. The things you typically think of when you think of a team that wins a lot of close games, they didn't do it. They were just lucky. So anyways, that was interesting. I know only some of you came to hear about the Blue Jays. But so it'll be Phillies, Dodgers, Cardinals, Marlins. We'll face Miami in a best of 7 where we get the first 3 in Philly, and then Toronto, Oakland, Boston, and Tampa in the AL. Oakland and Tampa, I think, have both been to the ALCS recently in my save. It's good to see them achieving that and not teams like the Yankees or the Astros. So let's go ahead and look at what happened here with the hitters. Let's sort by, sometimes I do WRC plus, sometimes WAR. Let's do WRC plus. So Juan Soto led the way with 7.8 WAR and a 162 WRC plus. That's between Philly and DC. His numbers after the trade were just nuts. He had 70 games, 330 plate appearances, 4.7 WAR, a 183 WRC plus. He hit 25 home runs in 330 plate appearances. Not too bad at all. I mean, just a crazy good year for him. He led the league in runs. He led the league in on-base percentage. He led the league in plate appearances. I mean, just a crazy good year. And he did end up signing that contract extension, 8 years, $298 million with an opt-out after 6 and then a player option. I guess you can call that an opt-out after 7 as well. So, yeah. So he's here, and, man, he's going to, I don't know. So he's 25. So he'll be 26 next season, right? And he's at 231 home runs. So if he averaged 40 over the next 10 years, he's at 631. So he only hit 39 this year, and it was a bonkers pace to get there, but he's hit 47, 44, 32, 39. And that's, of course, in his prime. So maybe he can't get there, but playing in Philly should do wonders for his home run totals. We'll see. With his age, you just never know. And he's almost to 1,000 hits already as well. So that's Soto. Cornelius Randolph, he's a stud. He's a star. 145 WRC plus, 5.1 WAR, 47 home runs, places him on the Phillies leaderboard for home runs in a single season. It puts him puts him 4th. So he was only 1 away from tying for 2nd. He didn't get up there in anything else, I don't think. RBI, he was not there. And so, yeah, and Manny hit 41, I believe, and would have been 10th, but Randolph knocked him down a peg. So Manny does not make the top 10. Randolph is going to be in the top 10 all time for Philly soon. He only needs 204 to get there. So there's Randolph. We'll get back to that info page in a minute. Bryce Harper, really nice season. A 133 WRC plus, 3.9 WAR, He went yard 30 times, and then Manny 124, 5.2 WAR, went yard 41 times, led the team with 123 ribbies. Really nice season from Manny again. Jung-Hoo Lee won the NL batting title with a 318 batting average, 2.7 WAR, 123 WRC plus. He played DH, so that's why his WAR is so much lower than, like, say, somebody like Manny, who was really good in the field. Solak did his job against lefties. He was really good. Pache, he's a elite level defender, so we'll take a 112 WRC plus from him. 3.8 WAR, of course, that's only in 123 games because of injuries. Real Muto, still kicking it. He's 33 and put up 4.1 WAR. Willie Adames, awesome season from him. 5.2 WAR, Gold Glove caliber shortstop, 11% above league average with a bat. That's great. And kind of getting buried here is that Bryson Stott, I wouldn't call it a breakout season, but kind of a season where he established himself. It's like, yes, I can be an everyday regular. And, he doesn't play against lefties, and I give him a day off once a week, probably, maybe 5 times a month. 5-6 times a month against righties. So, but he, 457 plate appearances, 107 WRC plus, 3.2 WAR. He's 27 now, so he's starting to get older. And then really the only guys below average, Hedges, the backup catcher, Maton, who was our utility guy for the second half of the year, and then Jamai Jones, who was just miserable in part-time duty in center when Pache was hurt and as just a bench guy. And as we talked about, I don't really have a strong pinch hitter off the bench, but Solak is a strong pinch hitter if we need one against lefties. He's not already in the lineup. Maton can come in against righties, but I didn't really feel like I needed a pinch hitter because of the fact that my lineup is so strong. There's no one I really want to pinch hit for, other than if Stott's in there and they bring in a lefty reliever, or Solak's in there and they bring in a righty reliever, and I've got the opposite-handedness on the bench those days. So, anyways, that's the hitters, the pitching. So just in terms of straight WAR, Clevenger led the way with 4.4. Not as good with our WAR, 3.6. Stayed a 4.16 ERA. He struck out 9.3 guys per 9. Barrios, a solid season, both in terms of ERA, 3.64, and FIP at 3.83. Sheffield had a nice season coming into the rotation with 2.9 WAR. Nola, 3.6 are worth 2.3 WAR. He had a 4.24 ERA, a 4.65 FIP. So, his ERA was better than league average, 7% better than league average, but his FIP was 2% worse than league average. So, call it a league average season from a guy who's making $35 million. He's 31, a little troubling, but we'll see. I mean, we can take that from Nola for this year because our team is so stacked. Wheeler threw just 103 innings, but was really good in it ERA-wise with a 2.52, 4.07 FIP, though. He's a free agent. Zach Little, not all this was with us. With us, he struggled with the long ball, 1.7 home runs per 9, but his strikeout-to-walk ratio was crazy, 33.8%. And, a good ERA at 3.77, good FIP at 3.30, but not the dominant reliever that I think he could be. Mason Fox had a nice season with a 2.52 ERA out of the pen. Pomeranz was good when we got him. Lawson had a really solid first season for us, a 2.75 ERA, 3.60 FIP in 78 and 2/3 innings. All but one of those 46 games was in relief. Tim Hill came over and was good for us. Segovia was solid in 55 innings, 7 of them starts, 4.25 ERA, 3.98 FIP, but a little bit worried about him. His scouting has fallen. His overall has fallen from an 80 to a 70. Current has... Oh, wait. You know what? That's because it goes from RP to SP. Oh, I'm less concerned now. Let's see. Is all that... Oh, so they were just rating him as an SP to an RP. Okay, I saw this stuff go down. But here, he's a... Okay, so here's his last rating as an SP, right? No, he did go down. All right, so here's a rating as an SP in July, and here's in September. So his stuff went down from 70 to a 65, and his velocity went down from a 98 to 100, 97 to 99, and his potential went down from an 80 to a 70, and his current went down from a 65 to a 60. So it did all go down as a starter. That's a little concerning, and he's also got a fragile injury history. So I don't know. I don't want to trade him. I don't like to just dump off problems on the AI and just take advantage of that. At the same time, young pitchers do get traded sometimes in this type of situation. I could get a lot for him. We'll see. I really need him next year, though. I need him to be good. Britton was not very good. Beckway was fine. ERA of 3.24, but a FIP of 4.43. He struggled with a long ball at 1.7. Of course, he's a fly ball pitcher with poor movement. Probably going to be looking to get someone who better suits my ballpark than Beckway for next year. But he's a good young arm. I think he's young, right? 25, yeah. Young enough. Offense, we were just dominant, first in everything other than strikeouts, third, and stolen bases and base running. But, an 827 OPS, a 348 WOBA. We scored 900 runs. And pitching, first in ERA, first in starters ERA, second in runs allowed, fourth in bullpen ERA. We were first in BABIP, second in defensive efficiency, first in zone rating. Look at these winning percentages by month, just bonkers. Just a really good team. We struggled in April. If we'd done better than 12-11, we would have been able to break the Mariners record, but wasn't meant to be. I don't know why I just pulled that up. And my computer was doing something weird. Sorry, you saw my OBS there for a second. All right, so, and I don't think I showed you my run differential, actually. No, I got so distracted by the Blue Jays. Plus 256, a plus 8 of our Pythagorean, which said we would be 105. So now we're going to play the Marlins. Now, the Marlins were plus 77 run differential. They went 93 and a nice 69. Let's go ahead and meet their team, actually. Let's do it that way. So this guy, Marcus, I guess it's Chu. Oh, he's out 5 to 6 months, though. Good second baseman is out. Lorenzo Cain still chugging along, solid. Jesus Sanchez is good. Trevor Richards, Zach Pop, they look like they have a good bullpen. Their starters ERA was second. Their bullpen was ninth. Sixth in ERA. Their defense was a little above average. Their offense was 7th in runs scored, but just 12th in home runs and 13th in base on balls and 1st in strikeouts. So I don't know. Obviously we should beat this team. We should beat them handily with the talent that we have, but you never know in a 7-game series. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with my pitching staff. They hit lefties better than righties. So I might not start Sheffield this series. I might just go Nola, Barrios, Clevenger, Wheeler. I'm not sure what order. Honestly, I don't know. Like if I were to go by FIP or something, this would tell me, Clevenger the best FIP on the team, but followed closely by Barrios. If you look at strikeouts, if you like that, you got Clevenger, Barrios. Sheffield, of course, led the starters. But I'd say Clevenger or Barrios is starting. Probably would give it to Barrios just because he's been with the team longer and he's under contract long term. Maybe go Barrios and then Clevenger and then Nola and then Wheeler. But I might even do like an opener with Sheffield one game just to mess with them. Just have them come out and go through the order once and then go to like Nola or something or somebody like that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with all that. But that's kind of the regular season recap. And now we'll go on to the playoffs. And again, here's the playoff tree: best of 7 in the Elite 8, best of 7 in the League Championship Series, and then of course the World Series is a best of 7. So let's go Phillies. Let's see how we do here. Okay, so the Phillies have advanced from the Elite 8 to the League Championship Series, where we'll face the Dodgers, and the Blue Jays and the A's are in the AL side of things. And what's cool about this is it's the 4 best teams from the regular season. 113 in terms of wins. The Dodgers with 113, or the Phillies with 113, Dodgers 97, Blue Jays 104, A's 97 wins, and then next were the Cards and the Red Sox at 94 wins. And trying to keep consistent sound in these videos as I don't, recording in different bits, but I'm having to record at different times and sometimes in different rooms, so the sound might be a little different, but trying to keep it as consistent as possible. If it sounds a little different as I switch around, that's why. Hopefully it's still okay for you guys listening. So we took down the Marlins 4-1. We actually lost game 1. What happened in this one? So Randolph had our only extra base hit. He had a solo home run. Lee had a multi-hit game, but Nola went 5 innings and was fine. Hill then got knocked around a little bit, and the offense didn't show up. We lost 4-2. So then we won the next game 9-3, and Pache had 3 hits. Randolph hit another homer. 2 of Pache's hits were homers, solo and a 2-run. Soto had a double. Stott had 2 hits. And Barrios went 4 innings, 85 pitches. He was, 4 hits and 4 walks, a whip of 2.0. So not the smoothest outing, but then Pomeranz, Lawson, and Way shut it down from there. Lawson really dominant, 3 innings, 6 Ks with a hit and a walk allowed. So that was game 2, and then game 3 we won 14-3. I mean, we just blew them out of the water. In terms of home runs, Soto went deep, a 3-run homer. Manny hit a 2-run homer. Adames hit a 3-run homer, and Lee hit a 2-run homer. So a bunch of home runs. Machado 3 hits, Soto 2 hits, Lee 3 hits, Real Muto with 2 hits, Adames with 2 hits. Doubles came from Machado, Real Muto, Pache, Adames, and that's it. And then Clevenger, a complete game, 9 innings, 8 hits, a walk, 3 runs, 5 Ks, 113 pitches. I basically, because I had the big lead, I just let him keep going because I had a game the next day and I just wanted to save my bullpen because it basically gave me a full bullpen for the next day. Everybody was available except maybe Lawson. So the next day, did I skip a day? Did I do this right? Did I skip this one? No, I did it. Never mind. Sorry. Oh, I had an off day, and maybe that's why I was saving the bullpen. Sorry, I just confused myself. I thought I was going to game 2. So we went up 2-1, and then we went to Miami, and then it happened. And by it, I mean Juan Soto just went off. 3 home runs and 7 RBI in game 4 here. He homered in his first 3 at-bats of the game. He homered on the first pitch of the game, a solo homer. He had a 2-run homer a 3-run homer in the second, and then a 3-run homer in the fourth. I mean, just an absurd performance from him. Harper had 2 hits. Lee, Romuto, Stott all had 2 hits. Harper, both of his hits were doubles. Sheffield was cruising, and then he gave up a grand slam. And then I went to Wheeler, who, I wasn't sure which starter I was going to use here as my 4th starter between Sheffield and Wheeler. So I decided to kind of do a tandem thing. And I was going to pull Sheffield sooner, but he was cruising. And I honestly left him in a couple batters too long. I should have pulled him when he started getting into trouble in the 5th. But once he gave up the grand slam, I went to Wheeler, who only gave up 1 hit the rest of the way, and we won 9-4. So this game, it happened again, it being Juan Soto. He homered on the first pitch of the game, and he hit 3 home runs again. So in games 4 and 5, Soto hit 3 home runs in each game, and he also homered on the first pitch of the game. So this game, you can see, we were down 7-2 after 4. And our 2 runs were from a Soto solo homer in the first and the third. And then we're down 7-2 in the 7th, and Soto comes up with 2 men on base, and he goes deep again. He hits a 3-run homer. And then we ended up tying the game on a single from Manny in that same inning, the 7th. Manny went 2 for 5 with 2 ribbies. His second hit was in the top of the 9th of the tie game. He hit a solo home run to give us the 8-7 lead. Soto obviously won the MVP of the series with a 435 average, 458 on base, 7 homers, 18 RBIs, and 10 runs scored. Just absolutely crazy. So Nola, I had a really quick hook with him because I had a pretty good bullpen, and he in an inning and a third, he gave up 4 hits and 4 walks. Lucky it was only 3 runs. And then the bullpen wasn't fantastic. Fox and Segovia both gave up runs, but then Pomeranz locked it down for us. So that's that. We're on to face the Dodgers, and let's go ahead and check them out. Come here, Dodgers. Where are you at? There. So pretty good offense. You see they're second, third, fourth in most everything. Third in runs scored and third in runs allowed. They're fielding us towards the top of the league. So pretty much top 4 or 5 in most every category. It's a really good team. The one thing is Gavin Lux is out, which sucks for them. He went out on October 2nd. He's their star second baseman, 131 WRC+. Jansen is out. Bueller is out. Man, some big injuries here. Kingery, who we gave to him, is out. But then Corey Seager is out for one more day with back spasms. They put him on the IL for an injury he got on the 14th 4 days ago. And that means he's out for the series against us. And I just don't like that. No team would manage that with their superstar shortstop, 6.4 WAR guy in 106 games. Oh, my Lord. Wow. And he put up 8.2 WAR last year in 140. Man, that's he's had, and then 118 games that season and 6.2 WAR. So I think I'm going to go into commissioner mode and make him eligible for this series. It doesn't feel right that they put him on the IL for a 4-day injury, which means he has to miss the whole next series. I don't like that at all. And they're already missing enough of their team with their starting second baseman, Jansen, who I'm not sure. It doesn't look like he was necessarily their closer at that point. Man, he just went out too. And when did Buehler? Oh, did Buehler just go out as well? Oh, wow. So Buehler went out on the 14th. Seager went out on the 14th. And Jansen went out on the 10th. Wow. So they are hit pretty hard with injuries, but I'm gonna give them Seager back. I think that's more realistic. Obviously, their pitching isn't quite as strong without Buehler and without Jansen. So it looks like Chapman was their closer anyways, but I'm sure Jansen was at the back of their bullpen somewhere. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens here. I mean, still a really good team. You can see, first base a little bit of a hole there. Third base isn't great, but yeah, this is a really, really good team. It's going to be a really tough series. We do have home field advantage. So the first 2 will be in Philly. And let's, I'm going to try to, I think I can get Seager on their roster, go into commissioner mode and do that. And then I'll play out this series and let you guys know how it goes. Well, 2 heavyweights, the Phillies and the Dodgers, they went the distance, 7 games, extra innings in Game 7. And the Phillies did not win. Dodgers win the series 4-3. The only time they led the series games-wise was after 7 games. We were up 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. And it was every other game was won until the Dodgers won Game 7 when it was our turn to win. It was very rude of them. So we won Game 1 in LA 7-1, in Philly 7-1. Some offense came from Real Muto with a 3-run homer in the first. Soto had another home run. We put up a 6 spot in the first inning. That was cool. Harper, Machado, Soto, all with multi-hit games. Harper and Machado with a double. Barrios, 8 innings of 1-hit ball, 9 Ks. He was great. Dustin Mailey went 2/3 of an inning. Game 2, extra innings. So 2 of our 4 losses were extra innings, which is a bummer and a half. We tied the game in the bottom of the 9th. We're down to our last out, and Cornelius Randolph went yard. And Solak had a double. Adames had a triple. Manny had a home run. Adames, Lee, Stott, Pache all had multi-home run games. Harper walked a couple times. Rough pitching. Clevenger, 4 2/3, 4 runs. Mason Fox went an inning and a third and gave up 3 runs. He wasn't great in this series a couple times. So then we went to LA and we won Game 3, 4-2. Betts with a double, a triple from. I'm on the wrong team. What am I talking about? Harper with a home run. Randolph with a home run. Machado and Soto both doubled. Harper 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Nola 7 innings, 2 runs. Now here's something. So it says Nola gave up 2 runs, right? And I would like to show you the game log because this is not right. He did not give up 2 runs. I don't know if this is an error and out of the park, or maybe I've always misunderstood. Maybe there's some obscure rule about inherited runners that I never knew. I don't know. I don't think so. But you guys can let me know. So where is it? It is... Okay, so Nola came out and started the 8th, hit by pitch. Donaldson. Abreu then singled. Donaldson to second. Little came in. Amaya grounded into a fielder's choice and Donaldson scored. So out at second was Abreu. Amaya's now on base, who is Little's responsibility now. Amaya scored. But that run got charged to Nola, which is not correct unless, like I said, somehow I've misunderstood my entire life how inherited runners score. So that should be 1 run to Nola and 1 run to Little, as far as I know. So anyways, it was largely a win based off of the hitting of Harper, the pitching of Nola, and Pomerantz came in and got the save. So we were up 2-1. We were feeling good, and then we lost the next game 5-4. So, 2 extra inning games and a third 1-run game. That's rough, man. So Pache went 3 for 4. He went yard. He had a 3-run homer. Soto had a double. Stott had a double. And Wheeler did not pitch well, but Segovia came in and was dominant. 3 1/3 of no-hit ball. And then we won the next game 10-8. It was actually not nearly as close as it looked. The Dodgers tacked on 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Corey Seager hit a grand slam. So we were blowing them out 10-2. But we had, what do we have? We had another 2-home run game from Juan Soto. Lee had a home run. Real Muto, Harper, Randolph, all with home runs. Barrios, 5 innings. Fox gave us an inning. Way and Britton gave up those runs, but only one of those 6 was earned because of a couple errors in the 9th inning. So that was game 5, and then we go home up 3-2, feeling good, and we come out and drop a dud. We went down 3-0 early, and we got it close, but then in the 5th, Mason Fox gave up a grand slam. In the 8th, we gave up 5 runs. And Adames and Randolph both had home runs for us. Double for Machado. Clevenger got hurt and was pulled after 3, and then Lawson pitched well for us. And then it kind of fell apart after that. Hill and Fox especially had rough outings. So then we get to game 7, and we go down 1-0 early. And then Pache hit a 2-run triple in the 3rd, and then they tied it in the 4th, and then it was scoreless all the way until the 11th. And we made 2 errors in the 11th inning to lose the game. I'll show you the game log here in the top of the 11th. So Betts led it off with a single, but an error in center field led him to get to second base. So we intentionally walked Donaldson, I guess, to set up the double play, which I didn't agree with. But Abreu then sacrificed, so we had 2nd and 3rd and 1 out. So then Amaya flew out, and the run did not come home. So we had 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. And then we had an error. Randolph dropped the ball at first base. I actually think it was Little who made the error. Maybe. I'll look. But so we got the ground out, and we made an error. So 2 errors in the inning, and an error with 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs on a ground out. That stings, and that's how we lost it. Which, yeah, sucks. Yeah, it was Little. So it was a ground ball to Randolph, and Little went to cover the bag, and he dropped the ball. We didn't get much offense. No, only 1 extra base hit. We only had 4 hits in the game. They had 9 hits, and Nola went 5 strong for us. Then Sheffield pitched 3 innings of 1 hit ball. And then, Pomeranz got in some trouble. But, again, it was largely errors. Not fun at all to lose on an error. We made 4 errors in the game and only had 4 hits. You can't do that in a game 7 and expect to win. So the Dodgers did go on to win the World Series, which I can show you here. They played the A's. So both League Championship Series and the World Series went 7 games, which is kind of fun. I think is that the Dodgers' first World Series in my sim? So the A's made the Championship Series there. The Rays won. Oh, it's their second. Okay, second World Series. They beat they beat the Yankees. Now they've beaten the A's. So, it was disappointing, especially since they were missing Buehler. They were missing Jansen. Seager did come back for them. I didn't have to do commissioner mode. So disappointing not to beat them when they're a little shorthanded, but it was a really good series and went down to the wire. So just in terms of what we're looking to do in the offseason, looking at our team, Real Muto's back for the final year of his deal. Every single one of these guys will be back. I think our offense will be the exact same. I think there might be some changes on the bench. Nick Solak is going to be 5 point something in arbitration. As a short side platoon guy, I don't know if I can afford to pay that. I don't have a ton of money, and I'm going to be losing some guys on the pitching side. So, I can always scale back the scouting and development budgets, but I'm going to have to kind of get cheaper and younger in some areas. And that kind of comes with the territory of, we're going to be paying Soto $37 million, Nola $35, Harper $26, Barrios and Real Muto over $23 million, Machado $18, Pache's up to $11. So, we might have to cut some corners here on guys like Solak, and in the bullpen, get cheaper in the bullpen, because so our rotation to end the year was, where'd our guy go? It was this, right? It was Sheffield and Clevenger and Wheeler. So Clevenger and Wheeler are both free agents. They both want about $20 million per year. Obviously, neither of them are going to be back, but I've got the big three back. I've got my top three starters back. And then from there, it's probably going to be like Segovia and Lawson, honestly. I need the young guys who were former top prospects. I gave them this year to get experience in the bullpen, and I think I will probably start with them as my fourth and fifth starters. And if I need to, bring in guys at the deadline. I don't think I'll go out and make a splash in free agency. Now, if guys fall through the cracks, sure. If I can get somebody on a really cheap deal, I will do that. But I'm going to need some younger guys on league minimum contracts to step into bigger roles next year. My team probably won't be as good next year as it was this year. It'll still be a World Series contender, but it's not going to be as deep, especially pitching-wise. There's going to be major turnover in the bullpen. I mean, every lefty is a free agent. Pomeranz, Hill, and Britton are all free agents. Fox and Little and Way are back. Eastman, Castaneda is he's one of the top prospects in baseball. He came up to start the last game of the season for us. 29th best prospect in baseball. But he finished the year at AA. He didn't have a very good year there either, but I'll probably start him at AAA, and he'll be in the mix. There'll be some hitters in the mix from AAA for bench positions. The bullpen will probably have a lot of youth in it. I think it's one of those areas where I'll probably, if I can sign some guys for reasonable deals, I'll do it. And if I can make some moves for cheaper arms, I'll do it. But I think it'll probably be a much more inexperienced pitching staff next year. But, I have guys who are good enough to step in. It's just, you're never exactly sure what you're going to get. But Andrew Schultz is good enough to pitch out of my bullpen. And, hopefully he'll step up and do well. Gunnar Meyer pitched pretty well for me this year when he was up. 26 and 2/3 innings, but he had struck out 15.2 guys per nine. Now, he gave up 2.4 home runs per nine. That won't fly. Was a fly ball pitcher with 45 movement. Maybe I need to move him out for a bullpen arm who will give up fewer home runs, but has just electric of an arm. Adonis Medina will probably be in the mix. He's 27 now. He's had 2 good seasons in AAA in a row. Maybe he can be a long man for me. I'm going to need guys like that to step up. It's just not going to be as deep. Jack Little's another guy. It's just not going to be as deep there in the bullpen and in the starting rotation. So, hopefully we can get some unexpected performances. Hopefully we can find some bargains out there. The bullpen's definitely an area where you can go cheap with your team and still find good players. A little worried about the starting pitching depth. If the plan is to start with 2 guys who are kind of question marks because they're young, what happens then if you run into a few arm injuries? Kind of in trouble. So I'd love to bring in a cheap starter as more depth, but we'll see if I can do that. We'll see how much money we actually have once we get rid of Solak. If we cut our development budget back a few million, we'll try to do stuff like that so we can, we want to stack this team and make another run in the World Series. So that's the 2024 Phillies. To end this episode, I'll come back and do a review of prospects and just show you the guys that I controlled and where they're at now in the system. And as I'm saying that, I'm at the end of the season one, I filmed it, the first part of this episode, several days ago. So almost a week ago, I think. And I don't think I did prospects then, but if I did, you can ignore that because I already covered it. But I'll go back when I edit it, and I can't remember if I did it. But anyways, prospects will be in this video one way or the other. But that'll be the end of this one. I think, I'll probably come back like I do normally with opening day and recap the offseason, recap all the trades, free agent signings. I don't think this will be as busy as an offseason for us. Maybe it will, because I do want to kind of shuffle around my depth, shuffle around minor leaguers, bring in guys who fit my system better, who fit my needs better. So maybe we will make some deals, but we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, but we'll have a similar team back next year. The best offense will be back. I mean, a full year of Soto in Philly is going to be super fun. 25 home runs in 330 plate appearances, 67 games. So we'll be back. We'll be back with another one soon. And that's the wrap on the 113 win 2024 Phillies, who did not end up winning the World Series. Thanks for your support, Philadelphia.